This is the conscious hour, and it's a serious conscious hour. I'm hesitating because I just got to say it like it is. Trump is a hired gun, owned, operated, and controlled by the Zionists. Netanyahu, we all know who he is. He's Diablo. He's on a mission. His mission has always been take control of Iran. We know now through history that Mossad did 9/11. Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, all of them were created because of a foreign country. Israel. Don't get me, I'm not blaming the Israelis at all. I'm blaming the Zionist mission. So we're trapped, and it's time for the American public to speak up and speak out. It's time for the American public to get rid of the right brain, left brain agenda. That's how they've played you. That's why Donald Trump is in office the second time, which is fine, but he wants to go for a third term. Now you can understand, and I'm talking to the Proud Boys out there and all the soldiers that have served in the military, and understand the atrocities of war and the fact that most of those countries, we weren't there to do anything but steal resources and make a lot of money. Now the clock is ticking down. So listen to this video, get away from the division of politics, stand up for America. We don't want anything to do with the Zionist agenda. Stay tuned, tune into the Conscious Hour. It's a critical time in our history, folks. Thanks.
On the other hand, I think that President Trump views this as the last best opportunity to reach some sort of arrangement before he has to commit to Mr. Netanyahu's war with Iran. Now, that may still happen, and I think the president has made that clear. I think he's put himself in a very difficult position. He doesn't have much maneuver room, even though privately he's clearly walked back all of the extreme measures that were outlined in what was effectively an ultimatum to the Iranians. And I think this is a point of serious concern for Mr. Netanyahu, because clearly, if all we're going to demand is that they remain at the 60% uranium enrichment threshold, and otherwise we're largely jettisoning the remaining demands that were made, that certainly does not serve Mr. Netanyahu's long-term purpose. Remember, Mr. Netanyahu made it very clear he wants the Libyan solution for Iran, and I would argue that that's Mr. Zelensky's solution for Russia. So Mr. Trump is now dealing with two recalcitrant supposed allies with whom we have no official treaty whatsoever in either case. But nevertheless, we regard Zelensky and Netanyahu as allies.
Here's what you said earlier with our friend Colonel Davis about the military strength of Iran. Chris, cut number 15.
What nation on the planet can have their embassy destroyed in another country and to have an assassination in their capital city on an inauguration and not go to war with somebody? Yet that's exactly what Iran didn't do, because they don't have the power to do it. So that should tell you.
Wait a minute. That's a fundamentally false statement.
Which part?
False. They don't have the power to go to war. You haven't looked carefully at Iran. Iran's arsenal of missiles is enormous. It could flatten Israel in a day. They have the power to go to war. They have chosen repeatedly to avoid war. And I've said this 1,000 times. No one in the Middle East is interested in a war except Israel and the United States.
As the Trump foreign policy establishment, Vance, Hegseth, Rubio, Gorka, Waltz, do they understand that?
What is the foreign policy of the United States? I think the foreign policy of the United States is two-dimensional. On the one hand, it's whatever President Trump says on any given day. And on the other hand, it's the permanent neocon bureaucracy of which his administration is a part. So I think you've got two dimensions there. He is very impulsive. I see no strategy, no coherent approach of any kind to anything, whether that involves widespread deportation of illegal aliens, the systematic securing of the border, ending the war in Ukraine as quickly as possible, or anything else. Where is the strategy? What is the approach? What's the framework? I don't see anything. So we're back to, well, it's whatever President Trump said today or yesterday. And I'm sure he's quite satisfied with that. And on the other hand, all of these other people you mentioned, somebody said recently, if you hire clowns, then you get a circus.